Hello lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, I hope that you will stick around and subscribe. I will be posting content catered to black women, specifically dark-skinned black women and girls. I am a Generation Z black girl, and for today I wanted to discuss this comment that was left under my previous video. And the reason why I thought it was important is because in future videos, I will be addressing black men in the community and why black women should keep their options open. But at the same time, I also if you do decide to date black men, I would encourage you to set your standard to a man with this specific mindset, and hopefully who comes from this background in which there was a father in the home. Because in the community, it is well known that most children in the black community do not have fathers in the home. And I wanted to compare the difference between a son who had a father in the home when he was younger, and then later on in future videos we'll be discussing single non-black women whose black fathers of their children were not in the home, and how this can affect the children from behavior issues to violence and to a whole other a lot of problems. So, addressing his comment, we're going to read his comment off. Please ignore the videos on the right side of the screen. This is a new account. I still haven't tuned my recommendations to be specifically to Chrissy the Pink Pill or Eddie at Heem's channels. I have to make sure the channel only gets recommended those types of videos soon. And so to start off with the comment. Oh, also, I'm really glad that there are guys watching my channel, because, and especially ones who are like this. He is a Generation Z black guy, and it's not strictly hate, he's actually listening to what I'm saying. And the video that's going to be uploaded after this is a bit more jokesy, I guess, but this is what I want black girls who are pro-black to narrow their options to. I am not pro-black. I am pro-like-minded black women. There's nothing wrong being pro-black, but I feel like you shouldn't shame people who aren't pro-black. I do not only date within my race, so I cannot be pro-black. And so I wanted to encourage black girls to be more educated when it comes to dating. Encouraged to be more educated about what happens in the community and what happens in society. So yeah, now we're going to start reading his comment. And he says, I know I'm a guy, and my opinion isn't needed here at all, but thank you for this content. It's very informative, and I really hope this wakes a lot more people up. Videos like this help me as a guy learn to unlearn certain things that I've been socially conditioned to accept as the norm. So let's just break this part down right here. He understands that he has been taught things that shouldn't even be happening. For example, women being providers probably, or even just the whole dynamic between black women and black men within the black community. So things that are acceptable in the black community are not very acceptable in other communities, or not seen as normal. Go back to the comment. There are literally statistics to prove most of the things that you said on here. So the video scheduled for tomorrow will have a lot of statistics involved. It's a bit more light-hearted, I guess. It's the start of the new series titled Sometimes You Just Have to Listen to Black Men. And so I had to scroll to make sure this wasn't the video. But yeah, he commented under this comment under this video, Black women and Black girls, you are entitled to have standards. So he says, I'm a Generation Z as well, but I was raised by my grandmother as well as my aunties. My mom is probably the hardest worker ever. And this is something that's very common within the Black community. Most children are raised by the women in their families because the men are not taking responsibility and taking care of their children. Though she was abused growing up, she took a risk and moved to the UK all alone while she was young. The mother also has a common background that most Black girls share. She comes from an abusive household. She's got a master's now and works a high-paying job whilst earning more than her current partner. So you see, his mom is also educated, but she is the breadwinner, which is the case for a majority of Black households. I can tell it frustrates her that he's just comfortable and doesn't make much effort to change things because he drills it in me to always make sure I value my future partner and go above and beyond to make her happy, be it financially as well as emotionally. I'm glad he told me that he is frustrated with this, because it's clear, even though he is well accomplished, very accomplished woman who has endured a lot, she is still in the position where she has to take care of a man. And hopefully soon she finds a man who is up to standard, because after everything she's been through, I think that she deserves to live a more relaxed life, especially with how she cares to raise a son who is going to be more masculine and taking care of the community and be an actual builder of the community. But notice how he said this man is comfortable. This man is comfortable emasculating himself next to a woman who makes more than him and is more accomplished than him. So we can already have an idea of how this type of man is. That his mother is dating. And he also said that his mother is making sure that she is raising him to be like this, and I think that's wonderful, because not enough Black women are doing this, because so many are so concerned with coddling their sons into thinking that they can do no wrong, but that they don't have to do much. They're too busy licking Black men's wounds instead of helping them, or not helping, convincing them. Not even convincing, forcing them to get up and start building for the community. Okay, so he also said, I also have an auntie who took care of me, and she works very high in finance. She's not married because a lot of guys the same hue as her are intimidated by her stability. Let's understand this. He did not say a lot of guys. He made sure to emphasize the same hue as her. So basically, Black men are intimidated by this woman. And I think that's good, because a woman who makes a lot of money can make sure that no Pookies and Ray Rays try to rub up on them. Because they are not high caliber. They should not be trying to have her entertain them. So then he said, it's baffling how Black women have had the love and patience to teach me all of the values that I have today, but they're still treated very lowly by the rest of the world, especially Black men. So understand, here we have a Black man who was not lying about the state the community is in and the way that Black women are treated within the Black community. He said, my late father treated my mom exactly how she should have been treated. And she preaches about him today, and I really hope I can do that to a greater degree. Do you all understand what he just said? And what this signifies, he had a father in the home. Even though he passed away, he had a masculine role model to show him what being a man is supposed to be like. So when you look at black men in the manosphere who try to blame black women for being single mothers, even though the black women are taking care of the children who chose to stick around and raise those children, gave up her life and anything else she could have accomplished to raise her children, they still say that it's her fault that the community sustained that is innocent. But this guy, he had a father to raise him. And so then, in future videos, when black men turn around and say, black women are this and that, and that's why we date non-black women, we're going to address not single non-black women who are single mothers, because a lot of them say you don't choose the good men. You're not picking educated lanes. You're only going for the pookies and ray-rays. But then if the non-black women are choosing better men, tell me why 92% of them are single mothers. Majority of them do not have fathers who are raising their children. If those are supposed to be the good black men, why aren't they taking care of their children? And then the study, it also talks about how the children who have the father in the home did not have behavior issues. And then when you look at the children who don't have a father in the home, they have severe behavior issues. And then that is the same thing that's happening in the black community now. Understand that, and only in the black community are the women blamed for raising their children. In all other communities, when they talk about the black community, they do not blame the black women. They always talk about the black men. They say black men are the ones leaving their children. They don't say black women are raising their kids to be bad. They say that all other communities, they look at the man who left the woman as a single mother. So that will also have a future video talking about how other communities perceive the black community. How, actually, we're going to discuss it after we read his next comment. Oh, but also he made sure to mention that his father motivating him to be a better man in the future. He wants to do better. He wants to become a man who his mother can praise more than his father. So then he said, we black men have created a terrible environment for all the black women, and that includes how we're constantly degrading you all through the media, entertainment, and in music. So soon I will be starting a reciprocity series in which I will be discussing TikToks, music lyrics, and things just like that, because when you talk about this, but when we get into these types of what causes black women to be disrespected in society, it will also reflect onto how black men are perceived in society. Because when they are degrading their women, all of the groups understand that their women are a reflection of them, especially if it's a patriarchy. If you have failed to raise your women to the standard to be protected, then that only reflects onto the men. Other group communities don't blame their mothers. They blame the men, because that is their responsibility to protect the women. If you're leaving your women as open targets and you are targeting them, it is not getting you respect. It is making you look weak as men. So I say you honestly don't see any other group of people devaluing women the way we do. You should accept the bare minimum from us, and if other men from other racial backgrounds are willing to give the world, you should move on. And I think that's perfect, because my options are expanded. I'm not going to eliminate entire groups of races just because of their skin color. That's not how I was raised. My mom always told me there's good men in all races. I've understood that. And honestly, I have certain standards that I will be telling you guys about later. I think I mentioned them before. But I know for a fact majority of black men cannot meet them. And I'm attracted to all groups anyway, so it's not really something I'm hung up over. But I understand a lot of black girls my age and older or younger are still hung up on that and still hanging from a thread of hope. But I want this channel to raise black women's standards so that way they will be in a better position in the future so that they do not get taken advantage of. Black girls can make sure that they understand to value themselves and that they do not have to settle. And he said, I'll stop rambling now. It'll look like I'm asking for sympathy or being pick-me-ish. No, I don't think that's being pick-me-ish, because honestly, this comment was not a pick-me. What he straight up said was, black men are not deserving of black women at the moment. And he said if other groups or races treat black women better, then he said to go to them. I will also be talking about successful marriage rates between racial pairings in the future as well. And so the fact that I feel like a lot of black girls need to hear this from black men themselves. But something I also wanted to talk about is the fact that he had a father in the home. Do not, if you're going to still date within your race, understand that this mentality that he has is a very small minority within the black community. Not every single one of them thinks like this. So, when you go out and start dating, do not apply how he thinks to all black men, because his mindset is very rare. His background is very rare. He had a father in the home. Understand that you are not going to come across a black guy with this mentality anytime soon. It is going to be very hard to find them. And if you do try to seek them out, I'm not quite sure how I can give you any tips on that because I don't do that. But just understand, I would recommend that you find one who grew up with in a two-parent household, at least for long enough for to be raised by a masculine father. So that way you can understand that he had a strong role model, and that way you understand that you are not wasting your time. So I like this comment because I understand that a lot of black girls do not want to write off black men completely, but they need to understand how to vet and to understand that how black men are raised, who is in the household, has a strong correlation to how they will be as fathers, if they would be present as fathers. And I think that'll wrap that all up today. So, thank you for tuning into my channel today. And as I wanted to keep saying is, no reciprocity, you will not see me. I will be sitting in my femininity. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all later. Bye.